And good morning, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. Welcome back to another Jedi Academy. That's right. This is the show where we answer all your Star Wars Galaxy Heroes questions. This is a straight Q&A show. And we bring the best and the brightest. Well, we try to bring the best and the brightest. Sometimes we bring the best and the brightest. Well, we're going to sprinkle in our mental damage. And by me, I mean me, myself, Ranger J 1999. And Dr. Finn, Medicine Woman. Dr. Finn, your beard is starting to come back. You're starting to get that Paul Bunyan look.
No. This is all still trimmed. It's not going Paul Bunyan.
I don't know. It's starting to look a little Paul Bunyan-ish.
No, it's not. It's not. I am going to stop it before it gets to that
That's
Paul Bunyan.
right. But good morning to all you guys. If you're new to the show and you're wondering what this is, again, it says this is a straight Q&A show about Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. And the way it works is if you have a question you would like us to answer for our panel, but nobody's here. It's the holiday weekends, Finn. I think everybody's a little busy.
We're here.
We're here, damn it. We're always here. All you need to do is pop your question into the chat. Make sure you put question for your statement. We'll get it scooped up and we'll get it read. And we will get that for you. So we're waiting for see who's going to pop in and stuff like that.
Are you sure we're going to get it red? Are you sure we're not going to get it blue?
We're not going to. Finn, don't make me get medieval. I'm in a very evil state of mind right now, but in a heroic evil state of mind because I watched The Witcher last night, the new show on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
10 out of 10. I love the ever-loving crap out of that. The Witcher is freaking amazing. If you have not seen The Witcher, please, God, go watch it. It's so unbelievably awesome. Oh, speaking of awesome, someone just popped in. Who was it? Here, wait a second. It must be Warrior. Scissorman's here. Scissorman, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Good morning, Warrior.
What's going on, you guys?
Well, you tell us. You sound like you just woke up.
Yes, that is a fact.
Are you
So, early mornings watching Star Wars. So.
Oh yes. So no spoilers. I've seen the film. Finn's seen the film. You've seen the film now, right?
That's what I just said.
Right, but I'm just transition. Work with me here, Warrior. God damn, get some coffee.
I'm working on it.
Just real quick, liked it? Didn't like it?
There were a couple of spots, maybe 2 or 3, where I was kind of like, what? But other than those couple of spots, and trust me, there's always those couple of spots in every movie for me. Other than those couple of spots, I was like blown away. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I felt like if there was any way to salvage the trilogy, if there was any way to salvage the trilogy, he salvaged the trilogy.
Yep.
And if there was any way to pay homage to what he needed to pay homage to, he did. And if there was any way to recuperate, what he needed to recuperate, he did. I mean, it was everything it needed to be. I felt it was wonderful.
There were
Sunday.
There were so many scenes where I teared up.
There's a lot of feels in this movie, but we're not going to spoil it. We're going to. I was going to try to do a spoiler review with Finn today. I probably will not get to that. I've got a lot of stuff going on. I don't know how we're going to do it.
Are you cool if we still have the stream, though? There's people that want to talk about it, so I was thinking...
We can. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to do it.
I can stream it. I can stream it at 8. Then we're going to probably do Human Fall Flat at 9. So.
Yeah, let me see. I'll see if I can... I've got to be watching...
Yeah, you got to watch Santa Durgan.
Because Santa Durgan's coming to town. If you guys have not seen Santa Durgan in action, it's... It's the most amazing thing ever. So, so we'll try to get that done. So we'll stream and talk about it. But yes, I liked it a lot. So yes, but no spoilers for that or this past Mandalorian episode, which I'm sure Finn is exploding to talk about with Baby Yoda. Oh, good Lord, Baby Yoda. But yeah, and we got that season finale next Friday, right?
I believe it's on Friday.
Yeah, so so much good Star Wars wholesome goodness going on. But we're not here to talk about all that, Oh, Warrior, watch The Witcher. It's fantastic. Get Netflix, Warrior. Do it.
I actually just saw that it had just released on Netflix, and that somebody had done their kind of initial review on it, and it looked like it was going to be solid.
It's beyond solid. It's fantastic. It is really, 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 really good. So, I mean, I was like, this is probably the best video game adaptation into a show movie that I've ever seen. It is so powerful. I was blown away. I mean, you get hooked on the first episode, and I couldn't stop. I was like, this is... What? They really nailed this? What? But go ahead and get your questions in. Thank you guys for joining us on your holiday weekend. We really appreciate it. We're not here to talk about all that other stuff. We're here to talk about Galaxy Heroes, and usually we start off the show by basically going around and what's on your mind. And I gotta say, I'm thoroughly enjoying... Oh, just a quick note. As soon as we get done with Jedi Academy, I'm going right into GAC. I'm making Finn stick around, damn it, because... you can eat your lunch.
Okay, I'll have to go for lunch, but yeah.
So I'll give Finn an hour for lunch, and then he has to come back at 1 to come do GAC with me. So we'll do that. But usually we talk about what's on our mind on GAC, or not GAC, but the game for the week. And I gotta say, I'm thoroughly enjoying the thrashing that I'm taking in Lightside GOTV. Such a wonderful experience to go in and get destroyed. Oh God. So that's kind of been on my mind. But other than that, I mean, Finn, what's been on your mind this week with the game and stuff? Before we let Warrior do his thing.
I kind of expressed my views already on our Wednesday night stream. I know this is contrary to what we were saying before, but because of the quality of what has transpired as a result of that, I wish CG would stop communicating.
Yeah.
Every time they say something, it basically reinforces the notion that they are so disconnected with the community that I would rather them just put out what's coming in this game and that's it, and leave all the opinions. Because reading the developer insight on and Resistance Hero Finn was one of the most ridiculous things I've seen. And I wish honestly that they would just stop with all this like unnecessary communication, this dev Q&A that's done asynchronously through forum posts instead of a live Q&A, which doesn't make any sense. And God, either work on the quality of your communication or just stop it. But that's just my point of view. I know some people still like it, but that's just my end.
That's right. Warrior, what's been going on with you this week in the game? What's on your mind about it? What's been going around that melon of yours?
Yeah, just enjoying seeing new characters come into the game and not spend money on gear or the stars. Just enjoying the game for the game and not worrying about, really honestly not worrying about buying anymore. Seeing gas come back so fast. And a bunch of people on my leaderboard are just now this week getting him, like, after this territory battle, they're going to be getting him 7 stars, and a few of them have to wait like one more. And now apparently on the 27th it's coming back, and there are people that will have the currency capable and the characters capable to 7-star him on the 27th, basically equivalent to the same time that the people who had done everything to have the characters ready the first time around 3 months ago. Or 2.5 months ago, whatever it was.
Spent a fortune too on it.
So the thing is, and I'm over it. I'm not even bitching anymore. Excuse my language, but I'm not even complaining anymore. It's just an apple's an apple at this point. They're not even rewarding people who spend money. So it's like, I guess don't spend money anymore. And people say that all the time. And there's been in the past people who go to Reddit and say, or Facebook, and don't spend money, blah blah blah. But the funny thing is it's not a group effort. Honestly, what it is it's an individual journey, and it has to be something for yourself. And if you're enjoying dumping money into the game, do it. You don't need to be guilted or whatever. Have fun, whatever. But for each individual journey, you have to decide for yourself. And for me, There's been a lot over the last, year that made me kind of go, I don't know. And there are purchases that you don't feel good about, but you do because you feel almost obligated to keep up. And so I've decided that not purchasing. I'm gonna see where it leads, and if I start to fall behind and find that I can no longer be up with the high-end guilds because I don't have the teams I'm supposed to have or whatever, then I'm gonna let them bump me down. And if that happens and eventually I can't be in those guilds, then they can, and if the game pushes me out, the game will push me out. So I'm not gonna stress about it or have this weird freak out or anything. But I'm also not gonna let it conform me to a need that I feel I have to spend money to have every shiny character. It's a crushing weight of necessity when you're at the top that you have to have every single character maxed out right away so you can use it in every facet every time. And I'm just over it. So it's no big deal. Like I said, I'm not complaining about it. I'm just over it. I'm going to enjoy the journey. I'm sure the new Kylo Ren and the new Rey are going to be amazing. I'm positive I won't have either one of them for 6 months, and that's okay. I'll check them out and see how cool they are in the raids and stuff when they come out. And in 6 months or so, when I can get those characters maxed out, I'll do them. So, and hopefully the journey guide will let us, cherry pick when to do them once we have those characters available. So, but on a personal level, life's good. Life's going great. I did 3 non-stream videos this week. I did 3 JTR videos. I released one, which was mirror matches, which everybody's like, what? That's stupid. So it didn't get many views. That's fine. But it was worth revisiting, honestly, because when's the last time a mirror match video has been done, to be honest? Because relics have been introduced. Relics have changed the game, and mirror matches for Revens are unique. The funny thing is, too, is everyone's like, Revens, really? Well, Revens are still a thing in Grand Arena, Territory Wars, and it's still a thing if you've been playing for 2 years or less in Arena. In fact, I use Revan every single day in Sister Man's account, and that's my reality every day. So for anyone that's like, that's not anyone's Arena, that's wrong.
No, that's
that's
totally
my Arena
wrong.
every day. So it is, but I figured I'd revisit it. It's not as popular, but I have 2 other videos I've done. They're hiding, but they'll be released. And I made it on the same series for the Jedi Knight Revan. One is the Jedi Knight Revan teams against Darth Revans, and I beat relicked out Darth Revan teams. There's one that has a Darth Malak on it, and just kind of talk about kind of the team composition and the kill orders and how and why I choose the kill orders I do. And then I also go against droids. Relic Tier 7 B1s and General Grievous teams and win-win with regular Revan. And I think with the Darth Revans and the droid team, I think those 2 videos anyway will be a little more popular than the mirror matches, because I know a lot of people that still use regular Revan as a counter to droids or to Darth Revan, and they might be interested in knowing, kind of how that works. So anyway, I'll probably release one of those, probably the Darth Revan video today, and then on Monday I'll probably do the droid one. So yeah,
all right.
I'm trying to get back into the swing of things.
All right. I'm sure we got the questions coming in hot and heavy there, Finn. Let's
they are coming in.
Let's get this pig kicked in the rear and started.
Okay. So guys, get in your questions. Make sure you start it out with the word question, or have it at least in there. That way it does get picked up by the bot, so we can do that. And keep those questions coming. And you can, since it's a small crew again here and it's the holidays, we'll mix up the fun questions and the serious questions as we can.
Yeah, might as well, yeah.
Get in all of your questions now. Whatever they are, we'll just go ahead and answer. So, first question from Jason Krulik for Warrior. He says, have you attempted the mission for Kiadi Mundi shards yet?
No, that's actually, we have the opportunity to attempt that today. for us, and I have not yet taken it. We've got, I think, 12 or 14 hours left in the thing. I have to go look, but we've got time left to go do that, and I haven't attempted it yet. I have seen a video yesterday from an attempt, from somebody who made the attempt yesterday, and so I haven't actually gone in and read any details on the mission yet, honestly. So, but I have seen the mission. So to the left, there's a couple of B2s you got to kill, and they're not that bad. And then there's Django, who burns you, and he gets damage immunity off and on. And then there's the guy to the right, that tramples you, and he puts stacks of trample on you. And as he gets those stacks of trample, those trample damages do significantly more damage to you. And you have a leader, and your leader can use a special ability, kind of like anything, where you can use it once in a while, and you can clear those debuffs. And when you clear the debuffs, his trample doesn't do that much damage if you don't have those debuffs on you. And you have to kind of work through, whether you're going to kill Django or kill him. And that's where I haven't read enough to know, or watched enough videos to know, whether you're supposed to kill it or Django. Django does help you kill him, so I think it would be wise to keep Django alive. But it also looks like Django gets damage immunity off and on, which would tell me that you probably want to batter Django off and on, because when he's not got the damage immunity, you probably want to hit him a few times, so that way he's readily available to die once this beast is dead. But I don't know. I haven't actually played the mission or read any of the event abilities for it or anything like that yet. And like I said, I've only seen one video of just a quick run of it, and it was a failure on the run. So I won't be any help on that particular mission yet.
All right.
And Ranger, have you tried it?
I'm not even close to sniffing it, man.
You don't have Arc Trooper, right?
No, I've got him relic. Remember, we did it yesterday. So I do. But what's the other one you need?
I don't know. I'm in Hoth TB, so I can't look at the requirements right now. But I think it's.
Hold on, let me go look. I'm in the game right now, so let me go look at it real quick. But and we're getting raffle stomped. I mean, we're just trying to get the stars that we can for Geonosis, period. It's just not, and right now I think we're 11, 12. Okay, we're 11. But yeah, I mean, holy Jesus. Sweet baby Jesus, Finn. Geo is something else, man. God damn. I mean, I went with my Padme team yesterday, and I'm like, okay, Padme's not relic, but that's okay. We'll be fine. No, just death. I mean, my Kenobi was dead, and I'm like, well, I'm sure glad I relicked him and stuff. Jesus Christ. Wait, Kai Monday, where's that mission at?
The bottom of phase 3, I think.
Bottom of phase 3. So let me look here. Let's see, what do you need for... So I do have everything but Shock T, so I can't do the mission. So all my troopers are relic and ready to go, including Arc. So I would just need to get... I mean, if I put the Zeta on Shock T, I could go for it. But I'm scared.
Depression.
I can't do it. I just don't know if I should do it. Oh God, no. So, but I think we're going to try to go probably for 13 or 14 stars this round for my guild, and I mean that's not bad for the rewards, but it's such a slogfest, and nobody is enjoying SWGOH. They're just not. It is so ridiculously OP. And even people that are getting 4-4, like, I lucked my ass off with that, and typically it's been like the first phase or second phase or some kind of special mission where they've like, okay, this somehow did this, and then we try to replicate it. It's like, no, I got destroyed. Relic characters destroyed. So, yeah, I hate Geo my side TV so much right now. It's so stupid.
Hoth TV is so much fun. Okay, let's go to the next.
Yeah, it's easy. You go in there and raffle stomp. This is one thing to Jesus.
My Rogue One and my Phoenix, like year 8 and 9, are doing so much damage. It's like, God. Yay! Okay, next question. I'll open it up. I think the answer we already gave it, but Acheron asked, how many times have you guys seen Rise of Skywalker? I think we've all seen it once, right?
I've seen it once.
Warrior, tomorrow you're going to see it?
Sunday I go again.
Where he's rented a whole movie theater.
Have you seen it just in the regular, or are you seeing it in any of the special displays, Warrior? Because I just saw mine yesterday, but in the IMAX theater. 3D. Yeah, mine was IMAX 3D, and I was happy.
Honestly, I don't do 3D well, and neither does most of my family. So we do what you would call a regular theater.
Okay. All right. Next question then, Warrior from What Else 73. He says, what are the options for Relic 7 gas, Rex, and 5's defense, or on defense in a 3v3 when you don't have any Relic 7 characters? So if you're fighting a gas, Rex, and 5's on defense and you don't have any Relic 7 characters, what is your best option?
So it's 3 versus 3. Gas does quite a bit of damage himself, but he does take kind of a minute to ramp up. And 5's Relic out can do some pretty decent damage, but is still on the lower end of damage dealers. And then what was the third character?
Gas, Rex, and 5's.
Oh, Gas, Rex. And then Rex is squishy, but can do the aerial assault thing. It makes it difficult because you can't hit those other two. You have to hit Gas. But you can throw debuffs and stuff like that. Honestly, if you don't have relics, your only hope, and I don't even think it would work. I don't think it would work, and honestly, I think that would just be one of those where you just go, no worries, I'll just play next time. I think would be the Triumvirate. They're very, 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 very durable. As Gas is kind of ramping up, you would be trying to ramp up and trying to do debuffs and cooldown increases. The cooldown increases might help manage at least keeping him level, Rex, because Rex is going to be over there, wanting to one-shot something, and then you could annihilate Gas. My guess is that before you annihilate Gas, Rex is going to go off and annihilate probably your tank, because he'll probably be taunting, and Traya will probably be critical by now, just due to the hits and stuff. If there was any hope at all, that would be the possibility. I don't think that even the Rebels could chew through the protection of a Relic out character.
Unless they're Relic, yeah.
And I just don't see it. I don't even. I that's one of those where I say, have fun. Sorry. The game's been fun. There's just times, that's what you're dealt, and it's like, what do you do? So,
all right.
Is what it is. That sucks.
Yeah, not a lot of options there. I mean, even Darth Revan's like, ooh. All right.
Next question. Warrior, question. How worried are you about the possibility of applying a Zeta to Rose Tico? She's currently trailing Droidica by $99 on the Tiltify poll at the moment.
I can't believe that Droidica's still in the lead. And for the record, this Grand Arena Championships on my main account, I got a full clear with perfect battles on the first round, except for a Newt team.
Mm-hmm.
It's Newt, Gunray, Dooku, and Droidica. All of them with Zetas, all of them with Relics Tier 3 or above, and it took me 2 battles to win. And so it's Droidica. He one-shots fools. And I'm like, man, I really hope that wins so I can Zeta my Droidica. So yeah, hopefully that works out for me. But
hey, Warrior, they're saying your mic is kind of fading in and out.
Really?
Actually,
interesting.
He's sounding okay on my end. Is he sounding okay on yours, Ranger?
It's kind of fading in and out, and that's what they're saying on the stream, so I'm just giving you a heads up, Warrior.
Well, they're going to hear what you hear, so.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's on your end. No, just kidding.
No, it's not. How dare you, sir?
But no, I don't care. Whenever when I have to put it on, I'll put it on. I am fine with that. But Droidica would be pretty cool. Yesterday on the thing I did, a full clear, got everybody killed on the first shot, with the exception of that Newt team again. I was like determined to use a B or a C team because I wanted to find a team in 3v3 that I don't, because I know Padme works against the Newt team. Like, I know that, but I don't want to use Padme because it's such a powerful team. I want to save it for the back in case there's something in the back that I desperately need Padme for. So I say Padme. Well, I used 8 C teams to beat Newt, Dooku, and Droidica. For the record, a Relic Tier 3 Dooku, even with terrible mods, is better than 7 Gear 12 teams of 3. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. Even with trashy mods, he's amazing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've been using CLS when I see that team. Like, okay, none of the nonsense. Just get in there and burn Droidica down and then just kill the other 2. It's like, I'm not playing games. Because that team gets off, man, you are hosed. That thing's a pain in the ass. Oh, my God. All right, next question, Dr. Finn.
Okay. You want to take the next one, Ranger, from Zombie?
Oh, sure.
The question is, what is the best way to mod GBA when you use him in a Darth Revan team for Arena?
I just use him mainly as, I mean, I didn't change the modding because I use him in GAC. So for him, it's still the same in that, speed, right? Speed and tons of health and protection, right? So that I'm going to use him like that for GAC. I want him really fast and tanky. And you can go any set. You can go defense set. You can go tenacity set. You can go health set along with the speed set. I know mine's really fast and has a buttload of health and protection because I want that brute to have the same kind of, remember, the stats transfer over. So I don't do anything differently for that, and I've done it in a way that modding will work for GBA in Arena, and it works great because it takes them forever to get through the health and protection, and even if they take on the brute, I'm like, I'll just bring another brute. And it works really, really, really good in GAC. So yeah, speed, health, and protection. Just focus on that. You can use any set, but my primaries are protection, with the secondaries being like protection and speed. Speed's like the really important thing. I want him getting off and doing his stuff, especially like when I'm not using him in a Revan team when he's in GAC, like for 5s or 3s and things of that nature. So that's how I do it.
Okay. Next question for both of you. We'll start with Warrior. Question from Danilo Papayas. What is the most defenses one of your teams in 3v3 GAC has had so far?
10.
Well, I can say that normal Grand Arena Championships for me or for my opponent, it's only ever 1 or 2. They either single shot everything or basically I personally get single shot. Like, everyone single shots me. I never see anything more than a single shot ever, which was always suspicious. I'm like, what's going on with that? But then I always go across the board, and I always get like pretty much single shot everything, except for I'll get hung up on like 1 team or 2 teams, and I'll get a couple of like 2s. That just happens in life. Sometimes you get a couple of 2s, and then some of the teams, But the other thing is I always have to save like my very best teams for offense so I can get the full clear, and they always have like their very best teams on defense and still get those ones. So that's why it's always like, Well, this weird is this Grand Arena on my main account, nobody's participating.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I'm one of those.
No one's participating, and I know that they could say that they're not participating because they don't like 3v3, but I actually think there's strategy in this not participating. I believe because everyone I'm facing is a part of the Paw Patrol and Team Instinct. I believe it is that they do not want to. One of 2 things. They're either going to use their offense, and then I will be able to see what they've used on reports, and they don't want to give that away, and they're afraid of that because of their proprietary nature. Or Or they don't want to show that they're APKing me, and that's what's been happening in the past. So they don't want to show one of those two aspects, and so that's why they're sitting out. I don't believe it's because they don't like 3v3, because in the past, when we did 3v3, I went against the same people, and it was always brutal battles back and forth. So yeah, I don't know why I'm not having any participation yet, like 3 battles, and nobody's fighting me in my main account. But Scissorman, oh my goodness, the teams I'm going against now are intense. The competition's getting stepped up, and it's brutal.
Yeah, I think the last round I had, what was it? I'm trying to go back in and look real quick here. One team had 10, one had 5. Give me a second. If it'll tell me. So the last round was when I had it. Which team was that had the 10 victories? So it was the Newt B1 Sunfact team had 10 victories. It took them 10 tries to beat it. Then in the South, I had one team that had my Night Sister team of Asajj, Spirit, and Daka had 5 and was not cleared. So, yeah, I mean, certain teams. This is the thing about 3s, and I'm seeing this too, where like my opponent today, I don't think he's interested in fighting me really, because I'm looking at what he put down on defense. I'm like, okay, so you put Padme, Darth Revan. I started going through the list of stuff, and I'm like, okay, so your plan is, I don't care. Because it's a straight defense. And I'm seeing that a lot. I haven't had anybody I've run into that's trying to get Frozen Carbonite, but holy Jesus, today's GAC is going to be fun, because, yeah, it's a lot of firepower on the defense. But that's okay, I have a lot of firepower on offense, so, Woo! Let's looking at this. Darth Revan, Padme, oh Lord. So we'll have some fun today in GC. Alright, Dr. Finn, what's next?
Okay. Warrior, next question from Jason Coonan. And the question is, would you suggest going all in on a Rebel squad if I'm not going to get gas this go
around? Yeah, I think that's a solid thing. And in fact, on my Scissorman account, gas is a very long ways away, probably 9 to 12 months away. I mean, probably not that far away, I guess, but because it's already on my radar. But, you got to build the team for him, plus the 2 teams to get him. So you're talking about 15 characters, and all of them need to be basically relics. So 15 relic characters. You're talking about, 1 relic character a month if you're lucky. That's a year. Year development, but, Rebels, it's really 3 characters that need to be relicked. That's 3 months of development. And I've already got 3 of them at Gear 12, basically. So I'm almost there. So yeah, for me, I'm the same way. I'm like, what should I do? Well, a counter, a very easy counter. Plus, you got to remember too, on my Scissorman account, not everybody's going to have like a warrior, Relic Tier 7 gas team. Like these are hot, on these other like lower accounts, they're hodgepodge. They're not nearly as maxed out, tricked out as like my main account. So, Relic out Rebels do phenomenal against those style teams. So yes, I think that is an extremely cheaper and safer bet to go after. Unlocked and get to Gear 12. That would be optimal too, but I think C3PO would work equally as good, if not better. I actually prefer the C3PO variant over the Wat Tambor variant personally, even though the defense penetration is nice with Wat. I like the C3PO exposes and shutting the counters and stuff down. So anyway, yeah, that's a great idea.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Next question, I'll open it up to any one of you guys. Matthew asked, have you seen the video of Gear 12 Resistance team getting full 4 of 4 in Phase 1? Do you think this is legit? I have not seen this video.
Tried it. It was horrible.
You've seen the video then?
I've seen the video, and not only did I see the video, but then I tried it, and it was a disaster.
Does the video look legit? Because Gear 12 does not sound legit for it.
I don't know how legit it is, right? I mean, the video, I didn't see anything. Of course, I'm not one of those people that, like, goes through stuff with a fine tooth comb, sorry, on a video. I'm like, I see what you did here, you bastard. But it was Cubs that I think had put it out. I don't know who originally did the video off the top of my head. I can't remember. But saying that it's legit, I don't know how it's legit. Because my team they're all Gear 12. I tried it. They're all Gear 12, and they're modded, like seriously modded. And I got raffle stomped. Now, it may be that you need certain RNG to go for you in a certain way, but I didn't even get a chance before my BB-8 was gone. I mean, Spy came in and just destroyed my BB-8 as soon as the match started. I'm like, how is this legit? I mean, I guess it depends if they try to go for like your tank or something like Finn, and he lives. I could see how it could work, but I don't think it's a thing that you can replicate like consistently. I just don't think it's a thing. I think it's possible. I think you could do somewhat well with it, but that first round with the 2 spies, and the B1 and the B2. I mean, if the spies get off, you're done. They will one-shot every single one of your characters. I mean, they one-shot my Kenobi, who has like unbelievable health and stuff. So it's a rare thing. Can it work? Yes, I think the video is legit and it shows it, but is it something consistent or that a lot of people are going to be able to do? I don't think so. I think you need tremendous RNG for it to work. As I said, my R2 BB-8 Ray, they're all modded to the teeth, and I just got raffle stomped trying it. And you can go back and watch my 10th. I'm like, all right, let's see what's going to happen, and it's good. So I don't know. I don't know if you've seen it, Warrior, but I had no success with that, and I know some of the people tried and said they had no success with it.
Yeah, and so there's funny. A couple of days, there was a couple of those battles where I took in some of those teams, like the Jedi team with the Bastila lead, the Revan, but Bastila lead, and the Padme team, and like had the luck and got 3 or 4 or 4 or 4, and was like, this isn't horrific, it can be done. So then the next day I'm like, I'm going to record this so I can make a video and show people kind of my kill order and how I was able to kind of manage my kills. And then I go in, and on literally round 1 it's like one shot. It's like I guess I'm going to delete this recording. So, there won't be a video for next week, I guess. That's not happening. That's the reality of this, is that sometimes you can go in and have a solid run, but other times you can go in and it not. And that's the problem, because they've got the tenacity turned up so high on all the characters, like 250 or 300%, that it's really, really difficult to land any kind of a debuff like ability block or something like that. And that's really what you need to do, is manage like ability blocks and stuff, because if you can ability block them, if they're using basics, you can get through it, no problem. It's when they're using their specials, for what you just said, spies, there's a lot of times there's 2 spies, and so they can each one-shot a character. Well, if they each go out, use their special, they're going to each one-shot one of your characters. You got 5, you're down to 3. Then they've got a droidica a lot of times on the other side that will roll up on turn 1, and then he goes on turn 2, and you've lost a character. So on round 3, you've lost 3 characters. On round 4, you've lost 4 characters. So if you can't kill multiple characters or ability block multiple characters, you're not going to do it in some of those rounds. So the most successful team I have found, obviously, was my gas team, and I've gone 4 for 4 more with my gas team than any other team. But then, no joke, yesterday with my gas team, Relic Tier 7 gas team, took it in for a normal, just a normal one, just took him in with his dudes to try to go, and in the first round he got toppled like right away, like immediately got toppled through a mass blast, and then they just one-shot all my Relic Tier 7 guys, and then he was by his lonesome and he was worthless and died in the first round. And I was like, seriously, this is not happening. So I don't know. It's definitely what they would call in-game content, but but it's not as there's definitely I don't know. It just feels like there's a mechanic missing that you can earn that kind of subdues these characters in a way that'll help you kind of get through it that you can't currently get through it consistently. But I mean, I say that, and then our guild is like 17 or 18 stars in now. So I mean, it's strategy does win out, and we are winning battles, and there are people in my guild that are surprising the heck out of me, and I'm watching some of the videos like, wow, that worked. That was kind of crazy. Just like that JTR video where you're like, how did that work? Like, it was just RNG that battle. And they're recording basically everything just to show failures and wins, just to see what works, what doesn't work. And everyone's recording. We're all sharing it, just trying to see what works.
They do a lot. They do a good job in MOMC with that. Like, they share that there with everybody. But then you try to replicate it, like, God damn it, RNG. It's like, well, I saw what you did, and I like what you did, but they went after my Padme and killed her instantly, so that's not going to work. All right, Dr. Finn, what else we got?
All right, next question from Han Cholo. By the way, guys, we have 97 people watching and only 16 thumbs up, so please make sure to take a second and give us a thumbs up here if you guys can, and definitely helps us out. So next question is from Han Cholo. Question is, advice on who to relic next for gas. I already have Kenobi and B1, and I'm thinking I'll be able to relic 2 more before the event. So what are the necessary relics for the gas event?
Is it just those 2 characters that are relics?
Yeah, he only has Kenobi and B1 relic right now.
Well, I'll throw this off Warrior then. I would say Ahsoka and Asajj for damage. I think is pretty much the route you go.
Yeah, well, definitely for B1, you want to crank him up to Relic Tier 5, which is not that difficult. So you're already in Relic Tiers, just can take him up to 5. The damage output's significant, and that damage output's going to be the difference maker on the dark side mission. So definitely do that. As far as on the light side, General Kenobi is a tank. He's going to take a lot of hits, so he's definitely a consideration. But Ahsoka is going to be your dispeller and your damage dealer under Padme, and so you definitely want her to be able to hit hard and to be able to survive and to be able to stay around long enough to get the dispel so you can target who you need to target. Because the other characters are going to build up the courage and be able to do the damage you need. Even Kenobi can one-shot someone with enough courage, but you still got to be able to dispel the improper tanks so you can target the proper ones, kind of thing. So she's important. Plus Ahsoka, you can't go wrong with, because she has one of the best ships in the game, and that's the future current meta in ships. So she's kind of a 2 birds, 1 stone. So if it was me and you had those 2 that you were going to look at next for light side mission, I would do General Kenobi and Ahsoka for both ships and the mission. But I think, sadly, you're going to probably have to go into the activities tab of character details, and you're going to have to probably try to get all of those characters to Relic Tier 3 as best as possible, because that's really what this event was optimized for. And even with Relic Tier 3s, it still takes a few attempts.
Okay. Next question. I'll ask this one to you, Ranger, because I think Warrior kind of answered it with one of the previous questions. So Michael H19 asks, how is everyone dealing with Relic 7 gas in 3v3?
I have my own gas, so I'm not just...
So you don't put yours on defense?
No, but I mean, I go in there with, like, I've got a lot of heavy hitting teams, so I'll make a decision on, like, what I'm going to do if I see one. Now, I have not faced one yet, but I do have a plan. I mean, my Revan and Mallet combination is good enough to handle that. I've got teams that I've got in 3v3 that can handle a gas team. It's just, for me, it's about managing resources. So, like, I was just saying, I don't have a gas on defense, but I do have, like, Revans and Padmes and all kinds of shit sitting there staring me in the face. I've got the offense to beat it, but I've got to manage my teams and resources, because that's what it really comes down to. Is like, okay, if I use this for this, then I won't have this for that, and you have to think about this, especially in threes. It's a little bit straightforward in fives, but it's still applicable. So if I did see a gas, I would definitely be like, okay, well, that's getting revened, you know. So all right, he's got a Darth Vader. What am I going to use that for? So you have to think about this kind of stuff when you do it. So for me, it's not an issue. I've got enough teams on offense to handle it. But you also have to think too. I mean, for points, you have to kind of lay out your strategy, and I think a lot of people get confused about that. You know, when I go into my GAC, whether my opponents attack me or not, I always go down south. Regardless of what they have up north, I always go down south and then try to figure out what teams do I need to do there, because I want to see what's in the back line. It also gives you a really good indication of, like, for the person you're facing, what do they have for offense. Because if you see weak crap in the back line, like the super weak stuff, you know that they went more heavy on offense against your defense. If you see heavy defense, you know, okay, I kind of see what you got there. So it gives you an idea of like what you can go for, and putting the pressure on them for your points and stuff like that. Now, if they've already gone and you already saw what your defense did, then that's even easier. You still should go down south, clear that zone, and then go for either the back or the top, depending if you have enough teams for offense. So just keep that in mind. So if you've got a Anakin sitting there, where's he at? First of all, is he in the north or is he in the south? If he's in the north, then you figure out, what team am I going to use against him that you're confident in beating him. Leave that team aside and then look down south. Like, okay, so he's up north. I got to go dick around with him, but let me clear the south and see what's in the back line, because that may give you an indicator of what your strategy is going to be. I mean, you can still win even if someone puts an Anakin down. They put it down south. Like, okay, well, there's a lot of weaker teams up north. I can clear the north, get the ships. I'll put this team aside for Anakin and come back down south. So just you have to kind of strategize it that way. I have
a quick
Yes. Sorry, I saw what Finn just wrote. You son of a bitch.
No, after you're done, I just wanted to add, like, what's your favorite defense set you've put where you were like, yay, even if it didn't get a lot of defense holds? Like, what's your favorite to set on defense as a surprise team that you feel like happy about? And then what's your worst, like, when you see it, you're like, boo? For me, when we answer it, I've got the answer for both of those. But go ahead. I just wanted to ask
I always put Grievous as a surprise team in the back. I do this in fives all the time. Like, so there's a method to my madness. So like, I'll put like just for fives. Like I kind of do the same thing with threes. Padme, and I'll put Night Sisters in the front line, right? So it forces someone to use Trey and some other teams, and then they get to that back line like, oh my god, it's Grievous. The Geos. So I do stuff like that to where it's like they've had to use so much firepower on the front line, and they think, okay, maybe I've got a shot in the back, and then it's like peekaboo and do that. So in threes, I've been doing the same thing. So I put really tough teams up front, and then that back line. I don't have my game open right now, but like I put teams like for like the two Kylos and Watt. You know, that's a nasty team to have to face in the back line. So I do that stuff all the time. The team that I've not really had any problems with any teams. I'm trying to think if I had any. I'll tell you the team that just drives me batty, because you try to minimalize it in threes, is a Saj lead. A Saj lead combination of like Zombie or Acolyte or a Saj lead with any of the Night Sisters, especially with Zombie, is a pain in the ass team. You know, and especially if they put a lot of heavy hitters on there. Every time I see that team, we had it last time, it kept me from full clearing this last round. And I was like, God damn it. And it was in the back line. I'm like, I just didn't have enough firepower to clear that team. Because on threes, it is so much more deadlier than it is in fives with the Night Sisters. I hate that team. So what about you? Your strategy and things like that?
Well, so I try to just put consistently terrible teams throughout that I feel like are going to drain good teams.
Yes.
But they don't need to be all my best characters, because at the end of the day, like what I want is I want to be able to have the ability to clear your board if I would choose to play. If I choose not to play, then whatever. But if I choose to play, I want to be able to clear your board. And if you win, great. And if I win, great. But I want to be able to clear your board. But I do want to have the teams synergistic enough that if you're going to fight it, even if you've got a better team, that you still have to take in something solid to win. That you can't just take in like a C team to win. So that's the goal,
right?
But I kind of I kind of spread things out. On when I go into a team, it used to be when it was like year 12 when I would see like a Newt lead with Droidica and Dooku. That was kind of that's actually been around for a while. I've been seeing that even when 3v3 was around before. I saw that with no Zetas gear 12, and it was a B team or a C team, and I guess that's been my biggest hurdle is my brain thinks B team or C team. And then I went in with a bunch of B and C teams to try and clear it with an undervalued team, only to find out that with all the Zetas and relics, it's basically an A team now. It's and my mind doesn't want to give them that team
the respect. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to give Newt that respect because I'm like, I remember when you were trash, but but then I go look at his character and I'm like clicking on the guy's character and it's like crappy mods. He's got like plus 100 speed on Newt, which is not that good for Newt. For a Newt team, it's like there's definitely higher speed thresholds at the high levels. And then you go look at Dooku, who's supposed to be really fast. He's got plus 76 speed. And I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. I should have no problems with this team. And you know what I mean? But then I'm taking in my B and C level teams and I'm getting like curb stomps and I'm like, wow, it's my fault. It's my fault because I'm taking in these like trash teams thinking that the Newt team isn't as good as it is. So for me, it's just a mental underestimation of that team. And I do it every Grand Arena. I've done it both Grand Arenas. These last 2 Grand Arenas I won, I did the same thing both times. And this last one today, the one that I'm fighting right now, I took in like 7 C teams to try to find a team that was crap that could beat it. And after the 7th time, I was like, okay, fine, I'll just take in a good A squad. So I just took in an A squad and beat it. So he has 8 defenses on his Newt. I know he's going to be like, my Newt's amazing, but his mod.
My Newt's so OP. I call his warrior to go have an aneurysm.
I'm just that guy that it's my hang up. It's my mental problem thinking that Newt sucks, but it's not that his modding is very good. But anyway, it's whatever. But for me, I think one of my, there's a lot of fun team comps to put on defense that kind of surprise people in the back, that they're kind of like, and they're just kind of, they underestimate. I think that's the thing. I want to find a team that people underestimate, and then when they go in, they burn a team, and they're like, wow, I was not expecting that. And the one that I enjoy one of the most is Basta Lead with Ezra and Jolie Vindo. Now, mine are all Relic 5 and above. Mm-hmm. And so the insane protection you have to chew through to kill one of them it takes a while. And my Ezra does double tapping on his basic, and he hits for like 60-70K on his basic now. So he's double tapping for like 100 to 130K. Even with relic characters, a couple, he counters a couple times. He gets called to assist by Jolie. He gets called to assist by Basti. She's winding him up. He's doing more damage, and so he's the damage dealer. They're both calling, and so in the first round, he's going to do like 300,000 to 400,000 to something, whoever the computers decided to target. That's enough to probably take whatever it is that they're targeting out on defense. And so people go in with, a decent team thinking, it's going to be Jedi. It's not that bad. Ezra's not that big a deal. They got a reviver and an ability blocker. This will be pretty easy. Let me take in whatever. What's going on? And they're losing characters because of Ezra. They underestimate Ezra's damage, and it's fun watching the defenses stack up. It's probably the one I have the most defenses on, so it's fun.
There you go. A nice fireside chat with Warrior Ranger. Finn, what do you got for us next?
All right. Next question. It kind of asks both of you guys here, and I'll answer too. Michael H19, what's everyone's guild GP, and how are you doing in TB?
Well, we are almost 260 million and getting raffle stomped. The end.
we're 214. If we had done GOTB, I think when I calculated it, we would be somewhere in the 9 to 10 million, or not 9 to 10 star range. However, we are doing Hoth TB instead, and we have a perfect 36 out of 45 going into phase 6. Should be a fairly easy one. Yeah. Oh my god, it's so much more fun. I've been playing around with like so many like teams that I haven't had a use for lately. It is annoying though, because with the number of waves, I forgot that it was 6 waves, so that does pay a little bit of a price, but it's still so much fun actually having a roster, that can actually
do stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't like going into a battle, Finn, with like relic characters and getting raffle stomped?
No. But the rewards are a lot better, so I think we'll be back at GOTB maybe. But this seems to be the Rebellion TB of choice here, so we ended up going that route. And some of them wanted to finish out their achievement and whatnot.
Sure. And War we know is in the Manima.
Yeah, we're 17 stars and we're at 300 million. So we're like the fourth.
What are you guys shooting for?
As far as fourth guild for GP, but the two mod guilds are the highest on stars. I don't know what we're shooting for. I think we're just trying to shoot for our best.
Right.
Like we're just trying to do the best we can do. Like we're not really competing with anyone but ourselves. We're just trying to do as good as we can do.
There's a goal in mind though. I mean, because I know in ours we try to calculate like if everything goes according to plan, we have a certain star level we're shooting for. Is that something going on in Maw as well?
Say that again real quick.
Well, I know that officers and MC and Maw are pretty. They're number crunchers. They usually say like keep it up. We have a possibility of this many stars. Are they conveying that, or is it just like just go in, pray to God?
For sure. So Team Instinct was like that too, and Maw's like that. They both are very strategic. I do have to say they were both really good at territory battles. But Maw's leadership when it comes to territory battles is better. They have significantly less GP, and they're in the old days they were equal, getting the same number of stars, and now they're still lower in GP, and they're now getting an exceeding number of stars. So their strategies that they've been playing out over the last year, that they're tailoring over and over and over, and learning and growing and changing and developing, they're mastering, whereas Team Instinct had a strategy and it has not evolved as far, and so the strategy hasn't kept up with Maw's strategy. By the way, this has nothing to do with me. I suck. I'm not in leadership. This isn't something I have any involvement in. Maw's leadership for this, their strategy is very, very, very succinct. They tell us exactly what, who, and where, how much, all of that. It relies heavily on how many battles and that kind of thing. One of the reasons why we're doing better than Team Instinct, I can say it unequivocally, even if I'm not in Team Instinct, I can guarantee it, is Team Instinct is all about currency, because currency is power, right? Well, Maw is they're very smart, and it's not always about currency. It's about teamwork, and sometimes you have to make sacrifices for the greater good. And so I've seen us make a few sacrifices where you wanted to be selfish and do something that would benefit you with currency, but instead you did it to get the extra star. And there was some of those decisions that would have in the past, when I was with Team Instinct, just even 6 weeks ago, we would have made the currency decision versus the GP decision. So I can say that there's definitely more of the greater good team mentality versus the let's just get a little extra currency mentality. So I'm glad. Plus, you have to keep in mind most of those currency battles people are failing on anyway. And so most of those attempts are failed, and you end up wasting GP because you're not getting battle GP. So, but anyway, they're doing a crazy thing. They're strategizing very well, and kudos to them for doing it and their plan. And yes, they do have a very strategic plan on how to do it. And I'm sure after this time, they'll have a newer and different evolving strategy, because the strategy we had this time was different than the last time. So, it's like I said, it evolves each time.
All right.
Okay. Next question. This one's for you, Ranger. It's from Grim.
Oh, no.
And the question is, if someone told you to use a specific arena team over your old arena team, and now you can't even get into the top 100, which your old team had no problem doing, what would you do?
Check your mods. Grim. Did you change the team and then remod? But you're going to go through a little bit of, like, when you switch teams in arena, like when you finally get your team, like say you've been using Padme and you're going to Darth Revan, you have to get in there and play around with it and get used to playing with it. Because there's just certain little things and certain little moves that you need to do in arena that you just need to know what to do, whether you go first or second or what's happening in the match. So that because there's just little small things you need to do when you're facing the AI on defense, that you just know that, okay. And then when you played enough, like just in the military, you train and do it over and over again until it just becomes second nature. You're just like, oh, their Darth Revan went first, but my Bastil's going first, I'm doing this. And then, okay, now I know my Marauder's going to hit this person. So you just kind of know. So you're going to get it's going to take a little bit of adjustment that way. But if you have switched teams and you're still sucking, you have to understand that unless you went in and like totally redid your team and revamped it to where you've got the speed and thing on that team where it needs to be, then you have to understand that, yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a struggle, but get in there with your team, look at your mods, and see if you can squeeze out as much speed as you can, especially if you're going from Padme to Darth Revan or along those lines. And just keep tweaking and keep slicing mods and keep working on it. That's the best way to do it. So, yeah, that would be my advice. And just get in there and just play it over and over again. And don't be afraid to do matches, because that's how you learn, right? And if you're having problems like you think you're doing something right or wrong, then all you need to do is just you can ask. Just ask me, man. I can watch something like that and tell you. What is with the skewers today, man? Every time I say something, they're like, they're just in a dirty frame of mind. I guess they're getting ready for Santa Durgan tonight.
Everyone's ready for Santa Durgan. Ouchie, this hair is going tomorrow, by the way. I'm getting a haircut. Okay, next question, Gav.
You're just getting a trim. You're like you're gonna get a buzz.
No, I'm gonna go short again. I always go short. Gav P. Question: What's up, RSG peeps? What TB are y'all running, and how many stars do you think you're going to get? I think we answered that a little bit, right? Yeah. So, yeah, we're good there. Next question, Utah. God. Warrior, question for you. Can you do the stroking of the Wookiee?
Do the what?
God. Okay, so I'll summarize here.
Yes. There's actually
we were on a lunch train.
Yeah, there's actually a guild with this name.
There's actually a guild called Stroking the Wookiee. And so when we had this guild on, I impersonated the sound that a Wookiee would make while being stroked. And that did not turn out well for
It lives
for
in
me.
infamy.
It lives in infamy. So they're asking if you can attempt to make a sound that you think would be...
Of a Wookiee getting stroked.
Yeah. That is a lot more legitimate than mine. So there you go.
You have to do yours fit in comparison.
Oh, God. Really?
Yeah.
No, that's only for the lunch stream.
No, Finn, you can't ask a guest to do the stroking Wookiee, and you can't give him...
I didn't ask him. Utah did.
But
I did it all for the stroke of the Wookiee. So what? The Wookiee. So what?
The Wookiee. You can stick a cookie up... Oh, Warrior, we're doing that. We also have a... We're also doing a funny thing where me and Finn get the time. We're going to do this... Harry Carey doing Linkin Parks in the end.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
So we got a lot of stuff like that we've been dicking around with.
All right. This is the next question from Helenix. So Helenix says he has no relics, but wants to do the upcoming General Skywalker event. What are the barest of bare minimums I should be preparing to relic for this event. I've been hoarding for quite a while.
And don't forget the 15 hours it's going to take you.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I would take the light side is harder than the dark side. I would take your B1 to relic 5 on dark side minimum, and then maybe a Saj to relic tier 3 for the dark side, those two. And then on the light side, I would not be afraid to take your Padme, General Kenobi, and your Ahsoka to like relic tier 3s at a minimum. You're not going to regret those 5 relic characters. But the other thing is that what I don't get is I get people all the time that come on my stream and they comment and they're like, why do you have relics? How do you have relics? How did you do that? Or whatever.
I did too.
So pause. For the last 8 days, or no, 9 days maybe, I haven't been farming character shards. I haven't been farming gear. I haven't been farming anything. All 8 or no, there's 6 and 6. There's 12. There's 12 characters in my favorites. None of them have gotten an ounce of development. 100% of all of my gear, energy, effort, all of my literal energy in the game, everything has gone towards Darth Revan. I unlocked him. When did Darth Revan? When did they make that event available? When did they launch that the journey guide thing?
Last
2 weeks ago?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks ago, they launched the journey guide. 10 days ago, they launched the journey guide, something like that. I've been doing nothing except for Darth Revan, just focused on him. I hopefully will get him relic tier 5 sometime this week. So that there's zero money spent. That's just me focusing for 2 weeks on a character from scratch to relic tier 5, 100% of all energy and effort. Now, I also understand I get a little bit of extra crystals that some people don't get because I'm getting like first place every day in 2 arenas. So I get that development is a little hyper-paced compared to some people. I get it. But, you can still do that. My 10 days might be your 30 days. But don't not do relic characters. Like, focus on getting characters to the relic tiers. Specific characters are very important for all teams. Like, Han and Chewie, get them into the relic tiers. For Padme teams, Ahsoka, Annie, and GK, get them into the relic tiers for both ships and for that Padme team. When you're going into Droideka team, General Grievous B1 at a minimum, like get those to relic tiers. Those teams go from being like just like whatever to they pop and they become the team they're supposed to be. And when you're in Grand Arena, you're going to start to see nothing but relic characters on defense. And if you don't have relics, you will not win. It's not going to happen unless you have an APK. It's just not going to happen. You've got to have some relic characters that you're going to be able to chew through some of these teams on. So, just hyper focus. It's not as difficult, I think, as people think. And the weird thing, everyone's really like critical, like, how did you get your, through Gear 12 so fast or whatever? When you're free to play, you shouldn't be gearing up 500 characters. Like, you're gearing up like nobody. So because you don't have anybody. So, like me, when I pop someone to Gear 12, there's always 2 or 3 pieces glowing because I'm hoarding all of that gear because of all of the Sith raids and all of that stuff. I've got hundreds of pieces of most of those pieces because I don't have anyone to put it on. I don't have any Gear 12. So like, where am I going to put the gear? You know what I mean? So like, I just sit on it. So, and then when someone pops, it's like, oh, and then all I have to do is farm. By the way, they've made all of that gear farmable. That wasn't farmable 6 months ago, but it is now. I can literally click on any of the Gear 12 or Gear 12 Plus, click on it and farm it from ships or from regular energy. And it only takes 2 or 3 days of farming, dedicated farming, to get that piece finished. So give it a week and I've got it, stuff, and then the next week I just focus all my cantina on the relics. And then if you get to the point where you get past relic 1, 2, and 3, and you need to get into a relic tier 1, 2, 3, 4, and you want to get to relic tier 5, the only hang up is needing to spend 300 crystals on in the store for one of those stupid shower drains. save your crystals and buy a $300 shower drain. That's it. And then just convert it for the 20 that you need to get to relic tier 5. That's it. It's 300 crystals for that, and you can save that. So, it's like I said, it's not is I don't understand the hang up where people are like, I get one character and like I'm done with him now. He's going to be relic tier 5 this week, and then he's done. Now I moved on. I moved over to because he's in relics now. I'm gearing up my Bastila, and I just popped her to gear 12 yesterday. So now I'm working on farming all her gear 12 pieces. Does it suck that every character in my favorites is not getting any love at all right now? Yeah. Who cares? I don't care. That doesn't matter. Right now, this is the only thing that matters for me. So just have hyper focus, and then relics are super important.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate. The thing is, like, you have to be smart about, like, you can be farming characters and still working on gear for, like for instance, you could be farming stuff for gas, but still be working on gear at the same time. And one thing we always stress here is you should always have the best mods, best gear level, everything for your arena team. Without question, you should be doing that. And certain characters need the relics more than others. So if you're running Padme, like Warrior just said, in arena, make sure your Kenobi, Anakin, and Ahsoka are relic, because that's your best team you're using. And you want to get the maximum benefit that you can, because if you can get higher in arena, you get more crystals, which means you can do more farming. And you don't have to go crazy with this. Like, you could be farming characters and still, with minimum crystals and used for energy, still farm gear. Like, you can pick one character at a time and say, okay, this character, I'm going to work on this gear and focus on one piece at a time and just farm those extra gear 12 pieces. Not counting what you get from the store or raids or anything like that. And just say, this is what I'm working on. And then it's not going to affect your farming. Oh my god, dude. We're getting so much stroking Wookiees right now. Oh my god. I'm getting nothing but stroking Wookiees.
It is working. Okay.
Yeah, it's... what do you mean it's working?
I wasn't sure if you had the alerts set up.
I do. It's the second stroking Wookiee I've had in my damn ear.
Oh, good. I don't have to do it.
Someone did it. I don't know if someone did any bits or not. I can't see.
Yeah, /Van Rose donated 100 bits for the stroking of the Wookiee, and then Exo donated.
Yeah, I've been getting the stroking Wookiee twice in my ear.
There you go. You guys had now heard the stroking of the Wookiee.
Oh god, here he comes again.
Another 100 bits by Exo.
Oh my god, dude. I'm just hearing that stupid... I hate you so much, Finn.
It's not me!
What do you mean? You're the one who did it! This all stems from you!
Well, yeah, but...
Yeah.
I'm not doing it right now.
Yeah, but
you. They're going to be watching you!
Seriously, Warrior, go kick his ass. Seriously. Y'all two don't have to hear that stupid... in your ear. Oh, God. God damn it. All right, next question. I've completely lost my train of thought. Son of a bitch.
All right, next question. Sean Ragnar, the Red Kelly question. Do you think they would ever make Django a second pilot on the Slave One and give it a separatist tag? Would love to see that bomb with some stacks of charge on Slave One. I don't think they're going to... No. They might give him a different Slave One if they were going to do it, right? I don't think they would give him the same one as a second pilot.
Yeah, so it's hilarious. They came out with Kylo Ren, and they said in their thoughts, developer insights, why didn't they rework the original Kylo Ren or whatever? And same thing with Poe.
Okay,
or Finn. Sorry, with Finn. They said, why didn't we just rework the original Finn, their mindset, the developer insights again? Why didn't you just rework the Finn? And they said, well, they used a lot of what I would call legitimate means, but they're really, when a cop pulls you over and they say it was because you were speeding, but you were going 4 over. And so, it was a pretext stop. They had a legitimate reason to pull you over because 4 over is technically against the law, but that's bull crap that they were really looking for drugs because they're asking to search your car. So you're like, okay, yeah. So they didn't really want to give me a ticket for speeding. And then when they don't find drugs, they say, okay, on your way, and they kick you free and you're like, yeah, that was a pretext stop. That was legal, but that was totally not legit. Yeah, so that is the way they're wording. It's doublespeak. They said that they didn't want to mess with Finn because, you know, it could be seen as a buff or as a you know, cutting the power of the character in the game. But they only ever bring out new characters most of the time when it's going to make them money. They're not going to rework that character if it's not going to make them money. So
I also don't know if their thought process was legitimate, to your point about that, like where you were going 4 over, like the rest of that. So I'm going to try and hold myself back here, because I kind of went crazy on Wednesday. But they said that Finn is in the right place of where that Finn is in the correct place that they wanted now. And I'm like, really? Finn used to be a leader of a resistance team here. So we had 2 legitimate resistance teams. They nerfed the hell out of him already. So now you put him as a 5th onto a Jedi training Rey. You can only use 5 of the resistance. How is he where you want him to be as really the only other leader on the resistance side? Like, this is ridiculous.
We just got rickrolled.
2 resistance teams. There's enough for 2 resistance teams, but now there's only 1 resistance team and then a bunch of resistance you don't use. And that's exactly right. And they could have fixed it, and they said, well, it was for the new Rey team and stuff. Sure, but they're going to just build 5 new characters because they want to make money on 5 new characters, not because they don't want to mess up his place in the game. He doesn't have a place in the game. You know, he replaces Wampa in the Hat Raid. Whoop-dee, you know, that's about it. And that's it. I mean, really.
Yeah, it's kind of silly. But,
I'm just getting over the fact we just got rickrolled.
Yeah, they just rickrolled us in with Bits Warrior. They rickrolled us.
Well, good. You guys deserve it.
I mean, I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. Maybe Ranger doesn't deserve it.
I hate my life.
The next question from Jason Krulik. He says, do you expect First Order or Resistance to be meta soon? Do you think that is why they're bringing gas back so quickly?
Are you talking to me? Are you talking to me?
You talking to me? I don't see this. Oh God, here comes the fox.
Ring, 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 ring.
No, both teams are going to have regenerative capability and are designed for the new GOTBs. Both teams will require relics to be viable and even relevant, because everything in the future is built for relics. So if these characters are characters you're even considering, but this is the thing.
You said it's just a tip, and I gotta carry this thing around for
They're
9
building
months.
these things to make money. The problem is they're creating a larger and larger disparity. And what I mean by that is, back in the day, they bring a character out, you could whale on it, get it, and it would be relevant. Even at like, you know, you could whale-ish on it and get it to like 6 or 7 stars, gear 10 or gear 11, and use it and spend some money, maybe 150, 180, and you maybe can't finish him, but you get him most of the way, and you could use him. But now, if you're not investing $400 to $600 into a character to get him maxed out,
we ended up with 2 babies.
The number 1 character in the game, the most powerful character in the game, Gas, is an absolute turd if you don't have him completely maxed out.
Pretty much.
He's an absolute turd. He's an absolute turd. He gets beat by every major meta team. He's an absolute turd if he's not completely maxed out. If he's gear 11, 6-star gear 11, he's just a turd. And that is every character in existence for the rest of this game's life now, because of relics. They've made a variance between the future, what is now relevant and what's irrelevant is so wide and so varying that now if you're going to whale, your new Worth It series now has to include the fact that to make them relevant, you have to whale on not only the character to get them 7 stars, you have to have the rarity, but you then have to have the gear. And they put in a lot of proprietary gear that requires purchasing because, most people have a stockpile of the old gear. And even if and so they put in some of that gear. So then you got to buy the gear, which is probably, 100, 150 minimum for the gear for a lot of people. You're spending 300 on, 280 to 300 on the character. So now you're at at least 400 on the character and the gear. And now you're at gear 12. Then you need gear 12 and gear 12 plus pieces. There's another 100 to 200 based on what your stockpile looks like of those. But if you've been, active involved in the game and trying to buy characters out like most whales and high-end dolphins do, you probably don't have a stockpile of 12 and 12 plus like I do, because I'm not doing that to many characters, but you are. So now you're like depleted, which is their desire. So now you're spending 2K on Gear 12, 2,000 crystals on Gear 12, and 5,000 crystals on Gear 12 plus, because you want to get them up there right away. So now you're spending, another 200 on the Gear 12 and Gear 12 plus. Then you spend a week farming your finisher, or you end up spending another $100. So there's 300 on Gear 12 to get to relics. Then you end up spending, another 100 on relic pieces because you're in a rush and you don't want to wait to farm all those relic pieces. So now we're at 500 plus the original 400 investment. You're at $900. A cool possible $1,000 for a new character, and they're relevant, but it's a character that's not designed for arena. It's a character designed for Grand Arena, territory wars, territory battles, and really built for the new Geonosis, light side or dark side territory battles. That's its end goal. So do you want to spend $1,000 to make a character relevant for Geonosis territory battle? Because if you don't, then you probably shouldn't go all in on that character. If you do, then good, God bless, go have fun. But you got to remember what the end goal actually, because if you're buying it for arena, you're wasting every single penny you're spending. So that's the new Worth It series breakdown, and you have to think it like that. And if you don't, you're lying to yourself.
That's interesting, because when I looked at the new Finn abilities, especially with what they can do with Inspired, and potentially if multiple different characters have an effect with Rally, I was thinking we haven't seen anything really on the First Order side. If you're just looking at Hux and Sith Trooper, I'm with you. When I'm looking at the new Finn, though, Inspired and Rally seem like not necessarily a counter to gas. It depends on how the other resistance are built, but it seemed like Inspire and Rally could be a pretty strong thing in arena, depending on what they give the other characters, of course. But it's way too early to tell, because each character needs to have something regarding their Rally or regarding their Inspire that they actually get the benefit from. Finn by himself isn't huge, but depending on how they build it. Let me tell you
that your hopes have been dashed on rocks already this week, and I'm sorry, because they are bringing out First Order and Resistance characters simultaneously, which means that all First Order and Resistance are supposed to be on kind of a level playing field and are supposed to be an infusion of new characters into the game and are supposed to bring about kind of a parallel playing experience between the two. Hux started to beat Gas, and they nerfed him. Mm-hmm. If any interaction between Resistance causes Gas to lose any gas or steam, they will be nerfing the hell out of it. So don't think for a minute there's going to be any arena relevance, because if there is, they will make sure to tweak that character. And I absolutely don't believe for 1 second that any of the First Order or any of the now, that's for those characters being released now. Will the Resistance with the new Rey or the First Order with the new Kylo be arena viable at Relic Tier 7? Possibly. Right. But I believe those are two journey characters designed for most people to not be able to get for the next 6 to 9 months, and only the whaliest of the whales to get. But I don't want to play that game the next time it comes around. I'm okay with just not participating in that the next time it comes out.
Well,
and that's what I was talking about, Warrior, because right now Finn is the only one that has any kind of Inspired, and regardless of what they said in that little image, that team synergy is complete BS. With Jedi training Rey and R2, 3PO, and Kenobi, seriously, that is not what he's going to synergize with. He's likely going to synergize with the new Rey that's coming out. She's going to have a leader ability that probably gives... Yeah, we might have a new Poe, and I mean, we have a bunch of different characters that may come as a result of this, because there's some really cool characters in the new movie. But it's more of a synergy that I was thinking of with this new Finn, with what they'll do with the new Rey, which, to your point, you're right. it's probably going to be somewhere like 6 months down the line, because we don't even have all of the new Resistance characters to even start building like your prereqs that they're going to try and farm you on for the new Rey. So yeah, no, I agree with you there. All right. Let's see. Next question is from Jason Krulik. So we have a couple of questions. So kind of related to each other. The first one, do you think all Resistance and First Order characters and ships will be needed for Galactic Rey and Kylo? And then which ships and factions should I work on next? First Order, Resistance, or Sith?
That's tough because honestly, there's not really enough Resistance ships. There's only 3, and for First Order, there's only 4. So
I don't think the ships are going to be part of this. For the characters
yeah.
for Rey and
Now,
Kylo.
What I could see, just so you know, I could see them going First Order and Empire ships for the event potentially, but them cherry picking a couple of like Empire, like Emperor Palpatine's shuttle, throwing that in with the First Order to give you the 5th ship to make 5 ships. Do First Order plus Emperor Palpatine's shuttle because Emperor Palpatine, whatever. Anyway, and then for I know, right? And then for the other side, there's 3 Resistance ships. They could make you level those characters up, because that would just be the jerk move to do, because those 3 ships are totally irrelevant now. And then leave you with 2 open slots, which would allow them to either bring in 2 new ships, which they could make a lot of money on, or they could say 2 rebel ships, because there was in a poster a bunch of rebel ships that were on a poster somewhere I saw for the new movie, so maybe they could do something cool with it.
Well, I think they're going to go characters. They're going to make it, you need 15 characters, and I think like 4 on each side are going to be needed for this journey event. I don't think they're going to do anything with ships. I think it's going to be about characters. You have to have them 7-starred and all this ridiculous stuff to get them.
I think it's going to follow the exact protocol that Gas did, which is a ship battle.
Oh, that could be true, yeah.
And then there's going to be a light side and a dark side. That's what I think.
That could happen too.
Yeah, I think it's going to be built like Gas. That's why there's 15 slots, because there's going to be a ship battle, there's going to be a light side battle, a dark side battle, and then the character. That's what I think, because they built it like that with Malik, they built it like that with Gas, and now they have 2 of these like ultra legendary characters, and I think they're going to do something similar to Malik and Gas. My question is, where the hell is Malik? Why can't we play his event? His event has been out basically the same amount of time that Revan's has been out, and last time they brought out Revan, the last 2 times they brought out Revan, they brought out Malik within 2 weeks. And they brought out Darth Revan, a couple weeks ago, and they haven't brought out Malik yet.
Remember, they broke it.
Journey guide.
They probably still can't get the damn thing to work.
They brought it out post breaking it already once 3 months ago. And it worked 3 months ago, and I'm like, okay, cool. So it's been out 3 months ago. It should be out again now, and it should be any day now, and it's not available for me. And I really want to get my Malik for my arena team. Not that I'll be arena ready. That's the funny thing. I'm going for Darth Revan in arena, but right now, I only have 1 of 5 players ready. So it's going to take me a month or more to get these characters in a way that I can even sort of barely compete.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is. That's a good question.
But I still want them.
I know, you want the precious.
You are not the only one. All right. Next question from Durgan. Do you think we will get dark side GOTB for the next one, or will we have to do light side GOTB again and miss out on watch shards for over a month?
They better not.
I actually think we are going light side
They
again.
better not.
What do you think,
That's a good question. I don't know. The schedule got all messed up, and I know they said they were going to fix the schedule, but I honestly don't know how they're going to handle the schedule. So I guess we'll find out.
What I didn't like about what they said when they went back to light side this time instead of dark side was that starting in January, we're going to return to our regular schedule. And the regular schedule was light side first, dark side second every month. So it's hard to know if they will adjust it, but I really hope it's not light side GOTB again, but I fear it's going to be. But that would be so awful. Just so much light side GOTB one after another.
Better not.
Next question, Jao Cavalcanti question. How do you get enough Relic 7 material? I find myself not having anything to spare, unlike the other tiers where there's less used pieces.
Okay, so I have no Relic tier 6 or 7 characters except for 2. And the only 2 I have are Yoda and Anakin. And when I got into Relics with characters, it was Yoda the first one. I popped him into Relics, and when I got up there, I zipped him to Relic tier 7, and I was like, how did I do that so easy? I didn't even know. I was just like, wee, you know, and I took him up, and I was like, this is amazing. And I had a bunch of that material, and I was just like, you know, I was able to convert because, again, I don't have a bunch of Gear 12 plus. I don't have people, characters at Gear 12, so I just have all that. I have a stockpile of all that stuff. Well, you convert all that stuff to Relic material, so I was like, no big deal. Well, then I got Anakin. And I was like, if I get him to Relic Tier 7 after his recent rework, you know, like he's going to be OP. I'm going to be able to place first in Arena, and I should be able to beat Darth Revan's, which I can. And so I was like, it was like a good gamble for me. But I took him up to Relic Tier 7, and I was like, yay. And then I went to do a third character, and I totally converted every piece that I had that was worth anything. And I'm done. Like I haven't been able to get anybody past Relic 5 since. Relic 5 and below is easy. Relic 5 and below is really easy. Relic 6 and 7 required all of my like Gear 12 plus that I had stockpiled that I didn't realize I was converting, that I had stockpiled since the beginning of the game. And so I unfortunately used a bunch of really, really good pieces that were fully crafted, that I had, you know, fully crafted and stuff, to Relic Tier 6 and 7. The only way to get anybody in the future to Relic 6 and 7 now is going to be to actually take my time, build out Gear 12 plus pieces, specific ones, by farming them and then crafting them, and then specifically after fully crafting them, killing them in the store, in the scavenger thing, and letting him give me the pieces for it. And that's going to be painful, but that's the only way I'm going to be able to do it. But I just, like I said, when I first started doing that, I was like, yay, this is easy. And then after the first 2, it was like there was no more material. But I had a bunch of Gear 12 and Gear 12 plus material pieces from just stockpiling, because I just don't have, like, had hardly any Gear 12 people. And every time, like I said, when Bastila just popped yesterday, I had 3 Gear 12 pieces for her available, because, you know, like I said, I only get to do 1 Gear 12 a month, basically. Sometimes 2 a month, but it's not, I don't get to do a whole bunch. And I do the Sith raid a couple of times a week. And so we're getting, you know, a bunch of materials, and it just gets stockpiled. And then when someone pops to Gear 12, there's stuff available for them. So.
Yep.
That's the power of having a good guild. And my guild's only 150 million GP, so don't be like, hey, you know, you're in like an OP guild. Like, I'm just in a guild that does all the raids, and you should be able to do all the raids. You should. If you're not doing all the raids and you're listening to this, you need to get into a guild that does all the raids.
Mm-hmm. All right. Next question is from Jason Krulik. He says, which direction should I go with gearing? Should I do resistance characters, or should I do secondary characters for light side TB like Cody, Clone Sergeant, and Bears? Ooh, that one's a tough one. We don't know all the requirements right now for the new Rey.
No. I mean, that Cody mission.
Where is your guild? So I'll ask this. Whether or not to work on characters like Clody, Clone Sergeant, and Bears, it can depend on where your guild is right now with GOTB. Because if you're the only one that's working towards that mission, it's not going to provide a huge benefit.
No.
If your guild as a collective is going after that mission and really trying to push for it and trying to get stars, and again, that depends on your guild GP and the mentality of your guild, then maybe it's worth it to work on those characters. Honestly, at this point, I would just say save up the gear, because we don't even know what characters to work on for the Resistance.
No, we don't have anything. I mean, in that Cody mission, I mean, Loki talked about it. He went in there with like Relic 7 and 6 characters and got raffle stomped. So, I mean, it's a crap special mission to try to do that. I mean, Loki was not happy about that. Like, oh, I went in there with my top Relic characters. I had Cody and Sergeant and Kenobi and just got my ass handed to me. So I really don't think that's worth it. I mean, if you're going to work on anything, you know, you focus on your main teams. like your GR, your clones, not coding.
The known commodities, right? The stuff that you know
stuff
is
for
useful.
gas. Stuff that Shock T is amazing for these battles because you can use her a lot in. You're gonna need it for like I think special mission or something or one of the missions, but I mean she's really really good. But the main stage you should work on. But if you got those locked in, and you're just like okay, which team do I work on next? I mean you can work on resistance, but work on resistance mainly for like your GAC things like that, or you're getting ready for the rain stuff. But I wouldn't go crazy with the gearing either. Like my resistance is still 12 and it works just fine. So I wouldn't go ham with the gear. Just kind of sit back and look a little bit, see what they're going to do with the new characters. Once you have a better sense of what's been released and have a good idea of like what you're going to need and what it's going to take, then you can make an assessment. All right, do I want to go for the new Rey and Kylo? I've got the gear and stuff, or do I want to wait and maybe get my GR team and stuff done? I mean, having clones and having gas and having the GR team and then working on your Jedi, it's not a bad investment. Maybe the Jedi, but yeah, that's kind of that's how I think you should approach it.
Warrior, do you differ at all?
No, I think you guys give sound advice.
Sometimes.
Oh God, that's an old story.
Well,
I don't even think sound advice exists anymore, does it?
Well, bang.
Sorry, I'm going on a tangent there.
Listen, Finn, take the compliment, you dickhole.
Hey, I used to go to Sound Advice a lot. That place was fun, but then it's
What?
all gone.
Shut
Sound
up,
Advice
Finn.
was actually a store.
Up, Finn. Just shut your hole. Good Lord in heaven.
You guys are like an old married couple.
We really are. And I can't get a divorce. I just can't.
Jao Cavalcanti question. What's the team you've got the best results with, and why do you think that is in TB? And what tools do you think this team has that others don't?
I've had no success. Next.
I mean, the only team I've had success with so far was on the stream, and it was Jedi Knight Revan, and that was because Jolie can rest. Oh, God. Someone just stroked the Wookiee again. Damn it, Grim.
So gas is amazing. The Jedi team, but with Bastila lead for the extra durability, with Old Ben for ability block, works pretty well. Using Padme team works pretty well. You can get 2 and 3 out of 4, and for day 1 you might get 4 out of 4. That one works pretty good. CLS works with like C3PO, works pretty decent. You can get 2 out of 4, that kind of thing. Not too bad. They're just kind of squishy is all with these guys who can one-shot everything. Problem is all the characters in this new GOTB, like there's a bunch of characters that can one-shot your characters. So you've got to try to prevent them from one-shotting your characters. That's the problem. You have to prevent the one-shots, and that's the hard part. So, and as your team starts to fall apart, you just, you can't get through it all. So.
Yeah. Okay. A few more questions here. Next question from Jason Krulik. Question for Warrior. Do you use ARC Trooper or Ahsoka in your gas team for Squad Arena, and how do you mod your team?
So I use ARC Trooper. He was the last time or the last individual that I spent any money on, and hopefully will be the last one that I decide to be weak on. And he doesn't make a big difference in my opinion. I think you could use Ahsoka just fine in that 5th slot. But with ARC Trooper, I just threw, you can do crit damage, crit chance on him, that's fine. Or you can do offense and crit chance, that's fine. He's a physical damage dealer. When you get him into relics, sometimes that offense can do, the offense percent can get pretty high. So if you do offense, that's pretty awesome. I would do a speed arrow, of course, and then do a critical damage triangle at that level. The critical damage, the extra 42% when taken to a 6E is pretty awesome. And then, of course, an offense plus, if you're looking for the extra damage, or if you're looking for the durability, you could put like a protection cross on there. and then a protection circle. I always try and do a protection circle. Well, it depends. If you're like running Padme or something, then of course you do like health. But if you're running in, like for me, when I'm running in arena, you're going against Malix and stuff. You want to make sure that you're using protection stuff, not health stuff. So his health drain is worthless. So yeah, that's how I do him. The other characters, most of them, I mean, the damage dealers are modded exactly how I just said. Offense with crit chance. When you do gas, he originally was all like defense and health mods, like defense, health, protective type tank mods. You mod him like a tank with all protection and stuff. When you take him into relic tiers, you try to kind of convert that into offense with crit damage, triangle, offense, damage, stuff like that. You still want some protection primaries on him, so they have to chew through the protection, but he gets his damage ramped up pretty good. And on his basic, he's hitting for like 70 grand, and he can, hit twice in a row. So he can start clearing fools out pretty fast as well.
All right. Next question. What else 73? We'll kind of go around the corner and start with you, Warrior. Any recommendations for improvements to 3v3 since they seem to be keeping it as a permanent thing?
I don't know. It's funny. 3v3 was gone for so long, and I was like, I remember liking it. I do. I remember in the past, once upon a time, like liking it.
When Warrior was a little
and
lad.
I remember I remember not enjoying. I remember not enjoying Grand Arena very much, but I do remember enjoying 3 versus 3 a lot, like on my main account. Like for some reason, I always did better in 3v3, and I think it's because the people I went against didn't like it and sucked at it or something, and so it was better for me. But okay, it was gone for a while, and so like it came back, and so like I like had like legit anxiety on round 1 because I was looking at these. I'm like, how do I beat these teams where everything's relic tier 5 and above? There's like 3 relic tier 5 characters. And they all have synergy, and they're all like these OP teams. It's like, like you're looking at Gas, Vibes, and Arc Trooper, and they're all relic tier 7. And that's like the first team you see when you open it up. And you're like, seriously? Like, this isn't even going to be fun. Like, this is ridiculous. And then you're just looking at all these characters in these teams, and you're like, this sucks. But then you start, like, slowing things down and going, you know what? I just want to win one battle. I'm just going to take one team, and I'm just going to deconstruct this one team, and I'm going to figure out what's the best counter for this team, what would work well. And I just start making those decisions. And I'm like, you know what? I don't even care. If I win and I just clear this one section, I don't even care. Like, let's just clear this one node and let's see what's back there. So then you go, and all of a sudden you're like winning pretty easily, and you're like, it's not as bad as I remember. I do remember why I like it. It's because with 3v3, it's harder to chew through a team with less offensive capability, but it's also harder for them because people's team comps are reliant on specific synergy, and they're missing that synergy in 3v3. For example, let's say they have, a team where they've got, L3 on there, and like L3, nonstop taunts and stuff. And they've got Kira and Nest or whatever. And like that normally has got like Mission and Zalbar. Like that's like a terrible team because you've got multiple tanks and you've got, all that ramping damage for Nest and all that. But when you go down to 3, you're losing all the damage Mission brings. You're losing all that tanking that, the other one brings. And you can just all of a sudden bring in a little 3 versus 3 Night Sisters team, a little bit of plague, and all of a sudden the 3 just melt in like 30 seconds. And you're like, that was easy. So it was like, that wouldn't have happened because Zalbar and Mission have that regenerative aspect and stuff. So it's like, because of the health steal and also the regenerative, protection stuff. So it's like, it's one of those things where some of their synergy disappears, and so comps that you couldn't use in the past potentially are all of a sudden available, and you're like, or worky better than normal. And like watching, Nest just fall apart that quickly is just fun. And so anyway, some of the comps I was like, man, these are easier to beat when they're only 3v3. Like, they're way easier to beat. And so I found it to be fun again. I was like, oh yeah, that's right. This is why I like it. So my only, like, looking back was like, what are you doing, Bonehead? You haven't recorded any of these stupid battles. Like, I got all these battles, like 12 battles, 12 times, now 3. And I got like 36 battles I've done in the last week. I didn't record any of them. Like, these should all be out there for the community to look at. These are really, really good battles and fun, with the exception of the Newt team where I did eight lost battles where I used C teams. Nobody needs to watch that. Nobody needs to watch me lose 8 times in a row with using C teams.
Yes, we do.
For the record, don't use C teams against Newt.
No.
I just wanted to keep all my A teams, but apparently Newt is an A team, so I just have to use an A team. I just have to.
Dun, 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 dun.
I love it when a plan comes together. All right.
Alpha Mike Foxtrot.
I'll say okay to that. Okay.
Adios, mother.
Yeah, I'm only one with. I have no idea what that means.
What do you mean? You didn't see the 18 movie? You're such a.
I did. No, the 18 movie? No.
What?
I did not see the movie.
What?
Just watched the TV show, but not.
Well, Word got it, so. Sucks,
yeah.
Sucks to be you, Finn.
It does. Okay. Next question. Grande Verga question: what separatist Zeta are needed or are best for the gas event?
All of them minus Magna. You need them, man. You need everything for gas. I can't stress this. Listen, boys and girls. If you want to be like Uncle Ranger,
listen, Linda.
Listen, Linda. If you want to be like Ranger and spend 15 hours doing the event, well, then all means go in and gear 12 and not all the Zetas. You may beat it. You may not. Some people didn't. Some people did not beat the gas event on the first try and could get in there and try it. That's a fact. Now, if you want to have your life easier, make sure you have that Zeta on Jordica. Make sure you have the Zeta on B1. Make sure you have that Zeta on B2. And make sure they're geared. Because if not, you're going to basically just order... You might as well just sit back and prepare for 15 hours of pain. You might get lucky and maybe be only 7 hours. But that's an exorbitant amount of time. So, take it from me, boys and girls. Don't be like Ranger. Go in there with the gear that we recommend for those characters on each phase. And go in with the Zetas. You don't need it for Magna, but you're sure in the hell going to need all the Zetas for the rest of the team. You need every goddamn thing you can get your hands on, because even if you go in there, Rolky went in there with all the characters and stuff, and it took him like an hour or 2 to get it. That's how crazy the gas of it is. I'm telling you. I'm just telling you. This is your warning. Go in there without Zetas and gear and see what happens. You might get lucky. Most likely you're going to have an aneurysm from the stress you're going to have from trying to beat that event. The more you know.
Okay, next question, Danilo Papayas. I think this is for you, Warrior, because you were talking about Ezra earlier. So his question is Ezra with Watt an option, and who should be the third?
Ezra with Watt an option. Well, I think everything's an option.
Watt just goes everywhere.
Yeah, Watt can go anywhere. Ezra, I just really like. So Watt makes more sense in my eyes with droids or separatists because especially droids because of the revive and stuff. It's just annoying. Plus the durability of that droid team already, and then of course he brings with those buffs that the additional durability. So super annoying. Can make a durable team more durable and the revives and all that. So especially a 3v3 team, he becomes a high priority, but he's really not a high priority, but you really we don't want him there because otherwise he's going to revive the Magna Guard that's incessantly taunting, and the General Grievous is like ramping up, and you're like, oh my god. So you've got to kill him, but he's not your priority, but he has to be your priority. Anyway, it's just a mess, and Magna Guard's taunting, and so it's a really terrible 3 versus 3 team. So yeah, I think that he's got uses elsewhere. I just think that he's got better uses where he's at, which is, with like separatist/separatist droids, in my, humble opinion. But Ezra's really good under a Basti. I mean, if you've never done that, you should give it a go.
That would be nasty. Basti, Ezra, and Watt. That could be pretty potent.
Or even Basti, Ezra, and Hermit Yoda.
Or Basti, too, yeah.
Ezra, and I actually, it was General Kenobi, Jolie, and Hermit Yoda somebody put. And I was like, well, this will be easy because General Kenobi has no real damage. Hermit Yoda is just going to go stealth, has 0 damage. And Jolie has no damage. I timed out. You can't beat it. I mean, if I would have taken in Traya, but that's a Traya required team. There's too much health to bomb it with an Imperial probe droid. And there's no way, because the health and protection regeneration and the speeding up of the team that Hermit Yoda does, the 30% extra health that General Kenobi brings, the 70% defense increase, Jolie takes 2,200 damage when he gets hit. Are you kidding me? You can't kill Jolie. He's invincible underneath General Kenobi. He's straight up invincible. But I saw that and I was like, what a dumbass. You know what I mean? Why did he put him underneath? Because there's no damage. I can bring any damage dealing team in here and take 5 minutes to take my time and mollywop who I need to mollywop. And yeah, it's going to take a while to chew through this, but it's not good. It's going to be, once I get through the protection, I'll just have to, one shot one of them or whatever. No, I freaking timed out. And that was exactly what it was a timeout team. And I haven't seen a timeout team in years.
Not
so
for a
I
while.
I totally spaced out even thinking about a timeout team. And then I went back, then when I went back in, healing immunity and stuff like that's an amazing thing. So you gotta bring the right tools to the right battle. But it just took me by surprise. It was one of those, whoops, didn't think that one through. But that happens. So just a fun little timeout team you can throw in the back if you want to say no to someone.
Yeah, the team that I'm using Watt right now on defense too is Kylo Ren, Unmasked, Executioner, and Watt, and people hate that team. It's enjoy yourself. All right, next question, Dr. Finn.
Okay, next question is from Revenator. He says, can Finn sing Santa Baby but replace Baby with Durgan? No.
Santa Durgan.
There you go, Ranger did it.
I'm just humming the other part because it's pretty filthy.
Grim, Finn, going to play some new Borderlands 3 DLC today. Yeah, probably not streaming it because we're going to do some streams in the evening of other stuff, but I do plan on going. I got back yesterday and I messaged Grim saying I was getting settled in and he didn't say anything and I ended up on.
Well, Grim fell asleep.
No, I fell asleep.
Oh.
I don't know what Grim was doing. I fell asleep.
You both fell asleep.
Nathan H. Question, what are the keys for a Bastila or Jedi Knight Revan team to beat a Sith Empire team in Arena? I can do it, but it is tough for me. I am working on eventually switching to Padme or Sith.
That's pretty tough.
Well, I mean, you need your Yoda fast, right? Because your Yoda needs to go first and get the tenacity up going. And once the tenacity up is on, then you have a better shot. So it is kind of a mod game. You need your Grandmaster Yoda to be able to hit pretty hard. He's one of the key in that team to get relicked up because you need him to try and eliminate characters like Bastila and HK as quickly as possible so you don't get stuck behind any kind of corrupted battle meditation or get the big shot from HK. So I think mainly it relies heavily on a speed and high damage Yoda, which requires high relics to go against it. Any other thoughts on that? I wouldn't do Bastila lead, by the way. I think Jedi Knight Revan is the lead you need to go against Sith Empire. I don't like Bastila.
I don't either. I just don't. She's great against Grievous teams, but it's not a team I'm going to... If I'm thinking Darth Revan, I'm not sitting there going, oh, Bastila lead.
Yeah. Let's see. Revenator question, will the longest running live stream still happen this Wednesday on Christmas? It indeed will.
And we're going to have Warrior there too. No, I made that up.
Warrior can join if he wants to. I'm not going to volunteer.
He'll be doing Christmassy shit with his family. He doesn't care about us on Christmas. Are you kidding me? Like, if I even know if I even call Warrior on Christmas.
If I had availability, I would. I have no idea what I'll be doing, but it is Christmas, so I'll probably be hanging with the fam.
Yeah,
but I have no idea when you guys are doing it.
8 p.m. Eastern, just like we always do on Wednesday nights.
200 damn near episodes, Warrior.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Our longest running Wednesday stream
we
has not
see
missed an
Warrior,
episode, regardless of holiday.
Doesn't know anything about RSG. It's fine. It's fine. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt.
All right. Last two questions. Jason Coonan, when using your rebel ships against Galactic Republic in GAC, what is your kill order? Basically trying to kill Anakin, right? ETA? You have to kill twice though. But...
Are you talking to
what was that word?
about...
You talking to me?
Yeah, I'll ask you to everyone. Yep. Question to you too, Warrior. Rebel ships versus GR.
So I just did that this Galactic War just a second ago. So yeah, you kind of what you want to do is you kind of want to burn down Annie. So I target him right away and do mass attacks, and you trigger that. But even if you trigger it or don't trigger it, it doesn't matter. What you're looking at is just trying to get his health and protection low, just really low, because you're going to want to take advantage of an AoE in a little bit. Like, it's not going to be, it's not going to be optimal, but you're going to want to be able to take him out when you get a chance. And then you're going to be able to burn down his Houndstooth. As soon as his Houndstooth taunts, you're just going to burn it down with mass damage. You don't have to worry about the days a whole lot because they debuff. The team's debuff heavy, and as soon as you get 2 or more, debuffs, what happens is more than 2 debuffs, they get cleansed naturally anyway. So like debuff away because they'll just cleanse themselves, and so you're good to go. The one linchpin on this team that I really found is the differentiator is, there's kind of 2. Biston's ship does, in relic levels, starts to do a ton of damage, like 80,000 on basic. That's like it chews through ships really fast. And it starts to make a huge difference in defense penetration on the Houndstooth. So instead of just like tickling the Houndstooth, it's actually killing the Houndstooth. So that's a big difference that I noticed in the defense penetration for damage. The second was Biggs. My Biggs is gear 12. Every time I try to use this counter, I lose Biggs like every time. Sometimes I win the battle because my relic tiered offensive characters just destroy the other ships fast. But if you could have a relic tier 5 Biggs or above, he survives every time. Like I go against these teams, these rebel teams that have relic tier 5 and above, and the Biggs is so tanky in comparison, so defensible. And the thing is Biggs is, you take him down low, but then he regenerates so much. But mine is just where he doesn't, he gets hit and then he dies versus getting low and then regenerating. And at that level of damage output, you've got to be able to have a higher pool to go low and then regenerate. So I've got him in my favorites. Biggs is in my favorites, and I'm trying to get that finisher piece. I'm farming 100 pieces of that gear 12 finisher right now for him specifically because that's kind of my linchpin right now for that rebel counter. I just won, but again, I lost Biggs in my counter. And the only reason why I won was because my Biston counter ship does massive damage, and so does my Millennium Falcon, and so does my Cassian U-Wing and stuff. But the Biggs is, you really want him to survive and continue to tank so your attackers can continue to attack and they're not just like targeted and killed.
All right.
Okay. And then the last question for today, /Fan Rhodes. What is a good guild GP to max Lightside Hoth Kibi?
Over 9,000.
I think it was around 180, if I remember correctly.
I think that's about right.
Can't remember exactly. I have to go back and check my spreadsheets. Yeah, I can check my spreadsheets again later and tell you /Fan Rose, but I believe it's around 180, and it varies again a little bit, right? Because you're going to need to make sure it's more on character GP usually in Lightside Hoth TV more so than the ships. So total GP is kind of a little bit variant, but it's somewhere around 180 GP if I remember correctly that you have enough guild GP to pretty easily get through Hoth, and especially now with relics and all that kind of stuff, the missions end up being a little bit easier. So it's fairly reasonable 180.
That's nice.
All right, and that is it for questions.
What? We did it?
Mm-hmm.
Good job.
Well, it's also noon, so.
That's right, and that means it's time for work. I don't. What are you working today, Warrior? Or?
I am in a couple hours.
So, there you go. So, Warrior's at the Izzy drinking coffee.
Warrior can join you for GAC.
No, he's not going to join you for GAC. He's going to be on his way to work. Well,
you're doing it right now.
Like, I'll be getting ready in like an hour, so I've got like an hour.
Yeah, do your GAC with Warrior instead of me, Ranger. I'm useless in 3v3 anyways.
Oh, it's up to Warrior. I mean, we can do it right after this if you want to do GAC. Are you down?
Yeah, I'm happy to. I have to watch. It's always laggy though. I'm always behind the curve. I can hear you live time, but I can't.
On Zoom, I'll have the live feed going, so you'll be able to see the battles.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll have to switch over to actually being on Zoom, like Zoom. Zoom. Because I'm on the phone.
All right. So what we'll do then, because stupid Finn wants to go eat food. God.
He's acting like it's lunchtime for him.
I know, God. And then
I blame Finn as real for a reason.
So, all right. So what we'll do then is we'll switch over here and then go right into GAC. And then we'll go do some 3v3s and have some fun. It is the finals, so we'll do that right after this. But before we do all that, Warrior, where can folks check you out at, my friend?
They can check me out on... No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to give them my address.
No, don't do that.
I'm in Colorado.
No, wait, no.
If you're flying, you jump out of the plane at 47 north, 37
Okay, let me
south.
write this down. Okay.
Longitude. Warrior Presents and Warriors roster reviews. I'm working on 2 roster reviews right now. I have 3 in the queue total, but I'm working on 2 of those 3 as we speak. It always takes me about 2 weeks to do roster reviews, so I've got 2 that I'm working on. I'm doing a Jedi Knight Revan series because, in Scissorman, I use Jedi Knight Revan to beat everything in Arena, and I climb to number 1 pretty much every day, and people say, how do you beat the Darth Revans with Malix? How do you beat the other Darth Revans? How do you beat the General Grievous tier 7s? Like, how do you do that? Because there's B1s and General Grievous is at tier 7 that are just rompy stompy these teams, and I'm like, yeah, I know, I have to beat it every day. So anyway, it was like, okay, well, I'll make videos on that. So I've got those new videos are coming out. In fact, as soon as I transition this phone call to the Zoom, I'll make live the Revan video just to throw it out there so people can see it. But for any of the folk that listen, they know that I put my videos into unlisted status. If they're smart, they can go into my any of my playlists and they can find unlisted videos. That's a secret little tip. A lot of you know, but not a lot of people do. So you can always find my fun little secret videos. My patrons do get links early. So if any of people listening are patrons, they know they get those links early in my Discord chat. And you can find me on Facebook and Twitter at Warrior Present. I like to tweet a lot. Weirdly enough, at my age, you'd think I would be disconnected from social media, but I don't do Instagram. I think that's kind of silly. I do have an Instagram, but I don't use it. I've literally, it's funny, my friend is an artist. He's got 82 followers, and he is amazing. By the way, on the last live stream, he put his art on my live stream. He showed the baby Yoda that he was sketching. Oh. And so if anyone watched that live stream, they saw that baby Yoda that he threw together, they'll know.
Don't tell that to Finn.
Yeah, he's insanely good. And he was like, nobody would buy my art. I'm like, dude, people would pay $250 for that sketch easy because of how good it is. It's like, it looks like a photo of baby Yoda. But anyway, he's got 82 followers on Instagram. I have more than him, and I don't have a single picture on Instagram. And he's like, this is not fair. But I don't do Instagram, but I do Twitter, and I don't know why. It's just fun to communicate on Twitter. So if you guys like to communicate, that's the place to go to chat daily with me. I do lots of updates on Twitter for both my main account and my Scissorman account if you like to see my daily progress.
All right. And Finn, since I'm setting stuff up because you're worthless and want to go to lunch, I'll pimp our stuff real quick.
All right, so really quick, we still have our Tiltify campaign going on for the American Cancer Society. The link should be popping up in the chat. I need to add it into the description here. Actually, I'll put it in the chat right now because Warriors poll is going to end at the end of the year.
Warriors poll.
Yeah. Is going to end at the end of the year. So, The poll is for what Zeta Warrior is going to put on next. And currently, Droidica is in the lead at 271. Rose Tico is at 172, and Wicket is at 70.
Yeah, I'm really shocked because I know Warrior really wants to do Rose Tico.
What's the total funds raised on that?
Hold on, let me add it. It's over 500 right now. It is.
Yay! Well, last year we were able to raise like 12 or 1,400 bucks. Yep. So hopefully by the end of the year we'll get near $1,000 again.
Yep, we're 513 on it right now.
Awesome. That's great. I'm so proud of the community, dude. The community comes together so awesome.
Oh yeah,
you know how much they've come together, Warrior? Our total right now is over 16,000. We are $16,001 right now.
What? That is crazy.
So we are we are 1,500 away from our total for our goal here as we head towards April. So you guys are just rocking this right now. So Warriors poll is still available there. If you guys go to the reward section, you guys can also still get your raffle tickets for that awesome lightsaber that was showcased by Space Windu. As soon as we hit 17,500, we'll do a special stream in order to announce the winner for that. So make sure that if you guys want your chance at that lightsaber, you donate to that. You buy yourself those raffle tickets. That's the only way in order to get that lightsaber is to go and get yourself raffle. But yeah, so you guys are awesome right now, and I'm putting the link in chat again. Just donate to the American Cancer Society. You guys are doing awesome right now, and make sure to check us out. So Warrior and Ranger are going to be doing Ranger's GAC here right after the stream. At 8 p.m. we will do our episode 9 review, and then at 9 o'clock on Twitch we will do Human Fall Flat and see the return of Santa Durgan.
Santa Durgan.
Have you seen Santa Durgan, Warrior?
No.
You need to see Santa Durgan. It will haunt you and make you happy at the same time
in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't express how bad that is. All right, so we're going to flip over. So, guys, get ready for some GAC action with me and Warrior next. So, hang tight. Thanks for joining us on the Jedi Academy. Make sure you give us a thumbs up, subscribe. Make sure you go check out our man Warrior stuff. Watch all his stuff. Give him lots of thumbs up and subscribe. And with that, we're going to call this one done. We'll see you in a couple minutes. Be safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.